Speaking Task 1. You will be asked a question about a familiar topic. You will then have 15 seconds to prepare your response, and 45 seconds to speak.
Would you prefer working in a team or individually on major projects? Explain your choice with relevant examples.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. Speaking Task 2. You will read a short paragraph and then listen to a conversation between two people. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the conversation between two people.
I think it's very important for you to know that this policy wasn't instituted in order to increase fees for international students. In fact, the university doesn't make a profit from the sale of health insurance. The problem is that health care costs in this country are so high that it could be financially disastrous for the family of an international student who needed more than just a simple visit to the doctor's office. A trip to the emergency room at the hospital could cost thousands of dollars without health insurance. Most families abroad just don't realize how costly it is. As for foreign health insurance providers, well, it was just too difficult to validate their coverage for medical services, and the local doctors and hospitals simply stopped accepting them. So, to be sure that our students are protected, we're offering low-cost health insurance through the school.
The foreign student advisor expresses his opinion of the policy for health insurance. Report his opinion and explain the reasons that he gives for having that opinion.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. Speaking Task 3. You will read a short paragraph about an academic topic, then listen to a lecture about it. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the lecture.
When it comes to commensalism, the relationship between barnacles and whales could be the poster child for it. Barnacles are small crustaceans that attach themselves to the skin of whales. As the gigantic ocean mammals travel through the vastness of sea, barnacles catch food particles and plankton from the water. Oddly enough, the whales go completely unaffected. They don't get any benefits from having these little hitchhikers tagging along, but they also aren't harmed in any meaningful way. A rather fascinating terrestrial commensalism example is the relationship between cattle and cattle egret. Whenever a herd of cattle is on the move, they stir up various insects as they feed on the grass. Now, this is where the cattle egret comes in. These birds follow the cattle around and feed on the bugs that have been disturbed. Again, much like the scenario with barnacles and whales, the cattle are completely indifferent about the presence of these egrets in their personal space.
Using some of the examples from the lecture, explain the concept of commensalism.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. You will listen to a lecture about an academic topic. After, you will get a question about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. Now listen to the lecture.
The focus of today's talk is coral reefs and the significant roles they play in our ecosystems. Coral reefs are some of the most diverse and valuable ecosystems on Earth. They are home to more than 25% of all marine life, even though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. Coral reefs are crucial for several reasons. Firstly, they protect coastlines from the damaging effects of wave action and tropical storms, acting as buffers between the ocean and coastal areas. Secondly, they are source habitats, meaning that they provide homing and breeding grounds for numerous species of fish and invertebrates. Thirdly, coral reefs have significant economic importance. They form the basis for the tourist industry in many tropical countries, bringing significant revenue from diving, snorkeling, and fishing. Finally, medical research has benefited from coral reefs as they are rich in biochemical and genetic resources. They've been used in treatments for many illnesses and diseases, including arthritis, cancer, and heart disease. Unfortunately, coral reefs are currently in danger from climate change and environmental pollution, which is leading to coral bleaching and disease. Protecting these important ecosystems is a critical task for us to undertake as stewards of the planet.
Discuss the various roles of coral reefs in our ecosystem and briefly mention the threats they are facing, as explained in the lecture.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.